Hello everyone, and welcome to today's briefing. This is Leanne Allegretto at the National Weather Service in Missoula, and I will be walking you through the next several days worth of weather and any associated impacts. So this is going to get a little repetitive over the next couple of slides, but pretty easy to remember. Light snow periodically throughout the time that this briefing was recorded, which is Thursday, all the way through next Thursday. So we're expecting light snow today through tomorrow, Friday, basically from I-90 and south through central Idaho and west central and southwest Montana. Accumulations, not great, but still worth mentioning. Light snow again Sunday night through Monday, and another round of light snow by Thursday of next week. So let's take a look at tonight through Friday. We're expecting a persistent period beginning at any time now from the time of this recording all the way through Friday. Light persistent snow. So very small snowflakes, not a lot of intensity, which usually equals about an inch or two in most places, as you can see in this storm total snow graphic. We have pretty high confidence that we'll get about an inch most places. A few inches more is on our low confidence side. Upwards of 3 inches possible, yes, but it would be the 1 in 10 chance of occurrence. So the graphic you're looking at here is where our highest confidence lies. However, if more intensity should start to pick up in the snowfall, like later tonight and overnight, then a lot of places could wake up with 3 or 4 inches of snow by Friday morning. So just something to be aware of as we go forward. There's always a chance when we get those light flow, light snowfall events like we're seeing, that the models severely underdo the amount of snow that's possible. But we feel pretty confident with this one through Friday that most locations will see about an inch, maybe 2 inches, and at the highest end, 3 inches. As far as temperatures go, the coldest air expected has retreated eastward. So we're still going to be pretty cold here, or at least more normal-like for this time of year for high temperatures. So here's on the left-hand graphic is Saturday's high temperatures. The right-hand graphic is Sunday's high temperatures. You can see the areas, the higher valleys, the valleys nestled against the Continental Divide. Those are all pretty normal, slightly below normal for this time of year, but overall nothing too extreme. But when you look at the weekend low temperatures for Saturday night and then Sunday night, you start to see a lot of single digits, a lot of teens, and depending on how much fresh snow we receive tonight into Friday, if we then clear out afterwards, a lot of these temperatures could be on the order of 5 to 7 degrees cooler than what we're showing here, because the snow would allow for a great radiational cooling under clear skies at night, and thus would show a colder trend in temperatures. But all things considered, this is what we're forecasting. Still pretty cold compared to what we've seen so far, and certainly so far this season. Now, looking out into next week with Sunday into Monday's light snow and then next Thursday's light snow, we got to look at trends instead of specifics, because light snow events are very tricky to forecast. There's no major winter storms coming here, but what I show you here is that there's a lot of model agreement in 3, 4, or 5 days out showing that we will be under a trough of low pressure and colder temperatures across the general western United States. So what's showing here, the big takeaway is you can see there's great agreement between all of these cluster models showing that our neck of the woods and along the Pacific coast should be under a trough. Now, if we were to look at the same thing, but on the precipitation trend side, the green shades show precipitation. The red shades show a little bit drier, not so much precipitation, maybe even on the below normal end of things, especially dry scenario. So just looking at this, it's kind of a mess, right? We see a lot of green in some places, a lot of red in some places. There's no real great agreement in any one place to receive precipitation during the very same time that we saw all those cold temperatures. So this leads me to believe, and us as a general, consensus thinking, is that we'll see light precipitation here and there during a period where it's cold enough to support snow. And but the timing and the geographical location of who gets what is going to be the real question mark here. So going ahead, let's just spell it right out, shall we? The bottom line, here's what we feel confident about going forward. We know there are going to be periodic light snow events for valleys and mountains across all of north central Idaho and western Montana. We know there's going to be near normal to slightly below normal temperatures for highs, and then below normal for low temperatures. And we can sit here and confidently say that there's no major winter storm in the next 5 to 7 days. So no really organized, heavy snow producing, hard hitting storm. What we feel less confident about based on what I just showed is that where the location of the best snowfall focus is still in question. And wherever that ends up falling, how much are they going to receive? We feel confident that it is probably on the lower end, like we're seeing, the 1 to 2 inch range. But that could change depending on, nuances in the models and what ends up happening in the general flow over the Intermountain West. So going forward, expect basically an active and cold period, but the details will have to be 1 or 2 days in advance until we can get a real grasp on what the models are showing and what ends up happening in ground truth. Hopefully this paints a pretty clear picture about the probability versus, what we feel confident about actually happening. So if you're to look further out in the 6 to 10 day, this is the precipitation outlook. Now this is indicative of, that trough of low pressure that I showed in the clusters sitting over the general western United States, but it keeps us on the fringe of that. So we're kind of waffling between, slightly above normal precipitation versus below normal precipitation. So we're kind of right on that line. And then looking at the temperature outlook, again, shows that the trough sitting over the west, but we're kind of on the lower end of where we would be below normal. So we're still expecting to be cold. We're still expecting to be wet. But like I said, it's going to be scattered, it's going to be light, but at least somewhat more normal. Here's our weather threat matrix showing that there's low probabilities here and there of snow like I basically outlined previous to this. But you can see that it's kind of scattered and mainly focused on Friday from I-90 and south. And then, of course, light chances Sunday night going into Monday. And that's it. Please join us on Sunday. Hopefully we have more details and more specifics on what the next round of light snow will bring. Thank you.